What is up? What is up, guys? Happy Wednesday. Guys, I have so much to talk about. It's like I can't even wrap my head around what the topic of the day is going to be. But um so this is one thing that I've been noticing a lot with myself over the last few weeks, if not years. Oh, got my 50 push-ups in, still breathing hard. Um anyways, but one of the big things that I've noticed about myself is that I am one of the hardest working people. Like, that's just, it's who I am, right? Like, I am the type of person that, I kind of obsess over things and I'm willing to put in the work and sacrifice and stuff. And that's not to toot my own horn. But um, with that being said, there is a huge lack of direction. And the reason I say this is my content has changed. The way that I do things changes like every few months. When it comes to, social media, it's very apparent if you go across all my social medias when it comes to like obviously we're doing YouTube now, but Instagram, TikTok, right? All the stuff is there's not really any consistency in what I'm trying to achieve, my offer, who I am. And I think ultimately that's what keeps people from success, right? And it's one of the things that really hit me this morning. Um, every morning I wake up, do my cardio, sit in the ice bath for 3 to 5 minutes. It's normally like 40 degrees, so it 3 to 5 minutes is rough. But um, so my point being that when I was sitting in the ice bath this morning, it was like you have to create consistency. People need to know what they're coming to you for, right? It's like, because if everything's constantly changing and constantly evolving, nobody knows what to expect from you, including relationships, whatever the thing is. Like, even prospects, right? In business is like nobody really knows what they're going to get. So that's where, especially with your following, like it's super easy to see because the numbers, right? You see, I'll gain 30, 40, 50 followers and then I lose them the next day. And it's like, well, what was the disconnect there? You know? And it's like they saw one thing, they came to my page and they liked it, and then they liked it enough to follow me. And then I post a totally different thing. So that's that's the hard part is like life is all about taking a step back and figuring out where you want to go and then mastering the mundane little tasks that help you get there. And I think that's one thing that I really struggle with. Like, I have ADHD. I don't know. Everybody in our generation has ADHD, but my point being, like, it's been something that's been very tough for me to just sit down and do the same thing over and over and over, because as soon as it stops working, then I'm like, I need to change. And then I change, and all of a sudden, everything's different. Um, so, with that being said, today I wanted to talk about the importance of knowing your direction, your path, right? And this is something that so many people completely miss, right? And this is why I say, um, why I emphasize so much working smart versus working hard, guys. Like, working hard is a great attribute, right? It will get you places, but it's not going to get you necessarily where you want to go. Like, it will definitely, it's the way I look at it is it's the foundation of anything that you will do is hard work. And then the second step is like, okay, once I've started to work hard for a decent amount of time and I know how to show up every day and work hard, then it's like, well, what do I work hard at? Right? How do I work smart? How do I take things to the next level? Because, working hard doesn't just get you there, but so many people just get stuck in working hard that they never take a step back and realize that they need to start working smart, right? And obviously working hard at that point is a given, Like every single person who's done anything worthwhile obviously works hard, but they took that time to step back and look at the bigger picture and decide what they needed to go all in on and the things they needed to stop doing, right, etc. Um, and from there, it gives them massive direction because now you're looking at the entire playing field, right? You're playing chess, not checkers. So many people in this life play checkers, guys, and this is going to be very similar to the last podcast we did, but um yeah, but for me it's just like I feel like I shift my energy so much that it's hard to just stay consistent and stay focused. Um so with that being said, everybody is just like nobody really knows what to expect from me. So with that being said, like one of the best things that you can do is just take that step back and just figure out like, okay, what is it that I want to achieve, right? And keep that at the forefront of your mind. What is it that I want to achieve? And then what are the steps that are going to get me there? And more often than not, you know exactly what you need to do. It's just that you need to continuously do those things over a long period of time. So the hardest part is like when you start doing that and you're doing what you know you need to do every single day and things aren't moving quickly, right? Because then it's like a lot of the time in my mind at least it's like, okay, I'm not getting any results doing this, so let's quit and focus on something else. And then it's the same thing. Then there's a learning curve there. You figure it out, you start moving forward, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm not getting the result, on to the next, and the reality is like every time you shift gears like that and change, it just totally ruins your momentum, which, you know, momentum. That's been my thing lately, but my point being that it's just like every time you change paths, your momentum is essentially gone and you have to restart from that point. So with that being said, a lot of the time the path to success is a whole lot easier than we think it is. We always think it's the next thing, right? But the reality is it's showing up every day and mastering the mundane little tasks along the way while doing the same thing, getting your reps in, right? Every single day so that eventually you will be proficient in whatever it is that you're doing and you will be the best in the industry. And this is obvious yeah, uh, obvious gym reference. I just had like the biggest brain fart there. But obvious gym reference is like your repetitions, right? Like, why do you show up and do the same thing every day? Every single person thinks that there's some magic workout that you can do to sculpt your abs or get big arms or get a big chest. But the reality is like nothing changes, guys. Every single bodybuilder is doing the same thing every week after week for years. And the only thing that really changes, especially for me, is my diet from the off season to the on season. Nothing else changes. My training doesn't change. My cardio will go up a bit. But other than that, like it's simply just showing up and putting in the reps every single day. And that's what builds the physique. That's what builds the muscle groups. So with that being said, you can almost apply that to anything in life, right? Social media or business or relationships. And it's like, what are the things that I feel like I'm skipping over that were so obvious in the beginning, right? And it's dating. Another great example is dating, right? Like a lot of the time, guys, when you start dating a girl, it's like you take them on dates, you dress up, you clean your car before the date, you buy them flowers, you write them notes, all that stuff that like gets you the girl ultimately. And then what happens is like you date them over a period of time and it starts to fade a little bit, like not like it starts to fade in the sense of like you stop doing the daily mundane tasks in order to keep her in love with you, right? And then you get married, and then all of a sudden, a year, 2, 3 years down the road, it's like, well, what happened, right? And if you simply just look at the facts and see what you were doing that now you are skipping, it's a lot of the time it's just those easy little things: buying the flowers once a week, writing a note, taking her on a date, like all the little things that it feels so complex because it's like what is the thing that I need to do, right? And you're trying to figure it out and go every other way around, but it's like simply show up and do the thing you did in the beginning that got you the initial result. Um, so yeah, that's something that can be applied to every single area in your life. Just showing up and mastering the mundane little things that got you those initial results. And I think it's just so easy to try to get fancy. It's so easy to try to go around the simple truths, guys. And this is why I conduct my life in a way that is very regimented, very structured, right? Family, fitness, finance, faith. Guys, those are my 4 topics. Every single week I sit down, I have my notepad, and I try to write out goals that I have for each one of those 4, if not 2 goals, right? So it's like 8 goals a week that you can sit down and accomplish within 7 days, right? So, which is, it's not that hard when you really think about it. But at the same time, like if you do that over a long enough period of time, you will be amazed at where you've gone. Anyways, guys, I think this one's going to be a little bit shorter than normal, which, I mean, the goal was like 8 to 12 minutes anyways, but as we move forward, I'm going to keep doing these. This is one of the things that is definitely going to get me where I need to be in the long term. I've evaluated that and realized like that this is part of practicing and giving myself direction. So I do want to keep showing up for these podcasts twice a week. Other than that, my social media may be changing. You guys might see that on the back end. You might notice it, but the biggest thing is I just want to do my best to master the mundane little things that allow me to leave the most impact in every single scenario in my life and maximize my results. So with that being said, the biggest thing is just knowing your lane, knowing what you can do today, and continuously showing up and moving forward. Anyways, guys, we will catch you on the next one. As always, like and subscribe, all the stuff. Follow me on all social media, and we will see you next week.